What's going on, guys? Scar coming at you with another Magic the Gathering video. In today's video, we're going to be doing something a little bit different than I've done in the past couple videos. Just with Core 21 coming out in pretty much the next couple of days here. I don't have early access to it, so unfortunately I will not be getting access to the cards and stuff like that to test around and play around with early. So I'll be, just like you guys, will be getting it on Thursday when the update goes live on to MTG Arena. I am quite excited because as I already have the two things pre-ordered, and I'm sure I'll end up purchasing a few additional packs, and I'll be diving in and trying to figure out what I want to play and what I want to build. But I kind of want to throw it out there because as of like today, I found there's going to be some new updates coming to Magic the Gathering Arena besides Core 21 as well. First and foremost, these news updates I think are actually pretty cool because it's expanding the game further. It's giving it more playability. It's giving it more access to people who may or may not have PC to play it. I mean, it's not saying it's coming to mobile, but it's giving access to at least people who have a Mac, which is definitely awesome. But before we dive into that, guys, if you like this video, hit that like button. If you want to know why I post more videos, hit that subscribe button. But enough said, let's dive into the news. Let's break it all down. Let's talk about it. Let's kind of go over what's happening, when it's happening, and all that stuff. So, this article is, I think, a snippet of what came from Blizzard themselves. It looks like what they're doing is there's going to be a dog campaign, as we can kind of see here in this little GIF. I don't know if this is 100% true, but there's a little dog companion. I'm sure it probably comes along with the Mastery Pass, and this is what it can evolve into. So on the 25th, we are going to be getting Core 2021, if you did not already know this. That is going to be releasing on the 21st of this month, which is pretty awesome. It's always cool when we get new sets of cards. I've looked through the spoilers. I didn't do a spoiler breakdown this time, but there's a few cards I'm super duper excited about in this current set that I kind of want to mess around with, maybe build some weird dog/cat tribal deck, which would be kind of hilarious but also cool at the same time. Not gonna say it's gonna be super competitive, but it'd be cool to mess around with a dog/cat tribal deck. But other than that, there's actually a whole bunch of other things that are actually going to be releasing on the game as well, and there's gonna be also things in the pipeline in the future. So it comes so the article states that Core 21 Verizon MTG Arena this Thursday, June 25th. It comes with jam-packed with both old dogs and new tricks. If you haven't kept up with the previous season, you can head over to their product page and kind of see what the cards are and see the gallery and kind of go through the cards if you guys want to take a look ahead of time, if you haven't looked at the spoilers, or if you want to just be surprised and just wait until you open packs. It's up to you. I'll leave a link down below to the MTG spoiler from the Wizards website if you want to go there and actually look at that. So next up is MTG is coming to the Mac OS system. So if you own a Mac computer and you've been playing on maybe a crappy PC, or just maybe haven't played MTG Arena but seem interested as a Magic the Gathering player, it's coming to Mac PC, so you can definitely play it on Mac. It's going to be going through the Epic Game Store, which is pretty much just transfers over your current account if you have one, or if you don't, to Mac. So if you even want to switch personally, or if you have a Mac laptop but like a PC, like home computer, you can easily play Magic the Gathering on your laptop by just signing into your Epic Games account, which I do find pretty cool. It's same game, same collection, new platform. That's the only difference. So another change that comes with this is that besides the fact that there's a new set coming out, they're changing out the ideas of how reprints kind of occur with things you may have already owned. So the one thing that gets annoying is that, you know, in some sets that they always seem to reprint cards, and you're like, it's always a bummer when you get, especially rares and mythics, when you get a reprinted card you already own copies of, and it kind of like, you know, you kind of get a little, oh, man, I already own that, you know, I really wish I could have gotten a rare or a mythic or even just a wild card, you know, to kind of boost like your ability to create cards. So what is going to be happening if you already collected a play set of a fully reprinted card? So this is the thing, you have to have a play set of a reprinted card. We will be adjusting the rate at which you receive these cards in the store boosters. We're defining full reprints as the cards that shares both the name and artwork of a card that is already exists in Magic the Gathering Arena. So what that says is that if you own the card, you own a full set of it, and the card that's getting reprinted has the same artwork, the odds are going to be shifted that you're not going to get that card in your immediate packs when you first start opening packs. I mean, who knows if this is going to go out without a hitch? You never know, there could be bugs, but I'm hoping that this will go out with a hitch, which will definitely be awesome because the temples and Fable Passage got reprinted in core. So unfortunately, if you already own sets of like any of the different splashes of those temples and or fables, you know, you don't want to really get another set of them, because it's not like physical where you then have another set to build another deck. It's like you have then 8 cards of the same card, but you only need 4 of them to go in any deck that you need. So so that's one thing. So you will only receive a copy of a fully reprinted cards from pack after you received playsets of all the other rares and mythic rares. The same thing we do if a card is banned in standard. So if a card gets banned in standard, which I actually just recently found out, I don't know if you guys found out, let me know in the comments below, but I guess you don't get banned cards in your packs if you don't already own the whole set of the set like that they come in. So that's interesting to know. If you already own a plain set, 4 copies of a card that is fully reprinted, you will receive further copies of that card from sword boosters if you already own playsets of all the other mythic rares from the set. Oh, I just read that again, never mind. The game will check this against your entire collection. For example, if you own 3 copies of Fable Passage from Throws of Eldraine and you open a 4th in Core 21, the game will adjust the distribute. Okay, so this is actually cool. I thought it was maybe if you own a playset. So if you have 3 and get your 4th, it's going to readjust and now make it less common that you're going to get. It's going to pretty much wait till you get the rest of it before you get the other 3 Fable Passages from Core 21, which is definitely awesome. So if you only own a couple copies and you get a couple more copies, it then readjusts so you already have 4 of them until like you get through the set. The one thing it does not do is it does not impact the limited boosters. So if you ever do draft or anything like that, it's not going to impact the limited pull rate, because you wouldn't want that to happen in limited, because if you're playing draft, you know, there could be good reasons to want to get like a Fable Passage or a card that you may already own a copy of that's just super strong, because it could end up making you be able to get through the draft to maybe get in enough wins to get a big reward. Oh, sorry. The change only applies to fully reprinted rares and mythic rares. We're not adjusting the distribute rate of reprinted commons and uncommons. So I mean, it's not the biggest of deals. So if you get uncommons, recommon reprints, it's not the biggest of deals. It's okay. You kind of like, depending on how many packs you open up, you'll kind of go through them. I know if you're in like a budget, you kind of want to collect the mythics or commons and uncommons. You know, you kind of want the new stuff first before you kind of keep on getting the old stuff. But you get a lot of them, so I mean, I guess it's not the worst thing. So there's that. Core Set 21 cards are also available in Jumpstart, treated as being part of the Core 2021. If anything affects the distribute rate, so anything that's also in Jumpstart also is going to be underneath protection if you already own it from Core 21. So that's also just stating that Jumpstart's also included in this. Their goal is that they want to ensure players who want to collect the cards in the set still can, while allowing us to prioritize new cards over the effectively duplicated rares or mythics. We're all in agreement that we should handle these kinds of reprints, rare, mythic, differently than others. We don't. I think this is also because you can't really. So like, let's say Hearthstone. So like in Hearthstone, for example, the problem with like getting reprints of cards or getting more than just like your play set is that there's no way to break down that card and kind of get like materials to then build a new card. So like you can't technically take like extra Fable Passages or just extra reprints of a card and break it down and then use it to create, you know, a card that you really, really want. I mean, it'd be cool if there was, but that is one thing. And these changes will be going live, and then they're happy to share the information. Keep in mind, if a reprint card features new artwork, we will not be adjusting it. So they just want to reiterate. So if there's new artwork on a card, so if this season they're keeping the same temples, they're keeping the same Fable Passages, but if there's a new artwork to the card, they're gonna keep the rate will stay high even if it's a reprint, just because they want you to get the newer artwork, or just have the option to get the newer artwork. Because in some cases, some people like new artwork, maybe they don't like the old artwork, but then like maybe the new temple comes out and you're like, oh my god, that temple looks great, and maybe you want it. So that's the other thing. So just another standpoint, it only affects anything that has same artwork as a previously printed card that you may already own in your collection. So Jumpstart will be arriving in MTG Arena on July 16th, which is a game update. We plan to go over exactly how we're implementing new player experiences as we get closer to day. However, we can clean up some confusion, alleviate a few concerns, blah, blah, blah. They're pretty much just saying, here's a few things just in case you're confused or have concerns about it. So pretty much what is Jumpstart's experience that MTG will be part of a limited event Draft or seals or theme boosters will include over 500 cards, which is crazy. 500 card set, which these are all reprints of cards that already exist in Magic the Gathering Arena. In addition to Jumpstart theme boosters, available only part of the event, individual cards can also be crafted using wildcards. So if you want a particular card from any of this, you can craft it via wildcards. I'll probably more than likely play an event with this because I find interest of this set because it's like, if you don't know what Jumpstart is, Jumpstart's like this set that is like a good intro way to play Magic. It's like these sets that are broken down that you open it and it's like a blue deck that has like a theme to it, and then it's like a red deck that has a theme to it. And what the goal is, you take those two theme decks and you smash them together and you create this like theme deck that this is good to ready to go. It's like almost as if you did it's like half of a boost, it's like half of a draft combined together. Then you put them together and it's like a deck that's ready to play almost as like a draft deck. And then like these decks kind of interact with each other in like weird ways. Like there's a theme to each one, and then it kind of combines the themes together, which is definitely cool. So blah blah blah, specifically for this format. This will include 37 cards that are new to both tabletop and digital Magic. Okay, so there's some new cards, so that's also good to know. There's some new cards that are in this. And they also swapped out 20 of the reprinted cards from the tabletop product in Magic for MTG Arena because of the power or gameplay concerns or technical restrictions. So there's some cards that, I guess because physical Magic has more cards in the array, like in Historic, for example, they don't want to put them in Arena because of power and so and whatnot. So if you look at the list, you're gonna maybe see some things you're like, wow, we're really getting that instead of that. So that's just a one heads up, just in case you're curious. Yes, we've included the themed basic lands. Like tabletop, you'll find them within corresponding Jumpstart booster packs. You always find the need to copy in your collection, and so that's the other thing. So like these decks contain lands because that's the way the sets work. So it's like the deck is like a pre-constructed 20 card thing. It has a bunch of spells, creatures, and lands. So you're gonna get lands in these sets, even if, like, you know, technically in an arena it really doesn't matter, since you just have access to unlimited lands when it comes to like common lands. But it just give me a heads up in case you're confused. It's like, yes, it's gonna pretty much be like the experience as if you're opening the physical Magic in Arena. So the other thing too is, because of this, like I said before, there's some things that are getting shifted around because of power. As you can see here, there's a list of 20 something cards, and it's like the tabletop will get one version and Arena will get another version. So the reason, like, they go into the reason why is because they think the power, the way where Arena is, it's definitely like, you know, we're doing this because it's a lot better to kind of balance currently what is in Magic the Gathering Arena. So it's like, instead of, like, I'm not gonna go over all these, but there are a few things that kind of stick out. So like, instead of Chain Lightning, we're getting Lightning Strike. I guess instead of Lightning Bolt, we're still also getting Lightning Strike. I don't know if that's an error or if that's a misprint, but it looks like, you know, they're not gonna give us Lightning Bolt, because Lightning Bolt, if you don't know what it is, it's a 1-cost spell that if it wants to open up, it's a 1-cost spell that's instant speed that does 3 damage to any target. So it's really, really good. And I guess because of its power, it just is currently in the way MTG Arena is. It's not super balanced just because it's way too good. It's way too strong for the cards that you may have. Anything else that sticks out? It looks like we're getting Road Strider reprint, which is, I guess, unfortunate because, I mean, we may already have Road Striders. It looks like, you know, there's some Banishing Lights instead of Path to Exile, which Path to Exile is like a really good card. You know, it's just like, if you look at it, it's just like a lot of different, like, you can if you like look at the cards, you like, they got like a weaker version of that card in this set, because like Banishing Light is like exile, you know, it exiles target card as long as Banishing Light's on the battlefield. Path to Exile, pretty much comparison, it's 1 cost, instant speed, exile target creature, and then that creature's controller searches their library for a basic land card, puts on the battlefield tapped, and, you know, that's it. So they are tweaking some things, which is kind of unfortunate, but to keep the balance of like Historic play, because these cards are also legal in Historic, that's a reason why they are tweaking it, so that Historic doesn't just get out of hand and then become like a crazy place where it's just crazy decks are going all over the place. They're doing an update to the Brawlers Guild Hall. Other than that, so starting the Brawlers Guild Hall will be no more. Instead of Wednesday Brawl, it'll just become Brawl all day, every day. No fee, earn daily wins, quest progress, no takesy backsies. It will be queue alongside play standard. So it's just making Brawl like everywhere. And then Historic Brawl. So Brawl's just becoming a thing. So that's good. And then they're talking about historic Brawl, which they want to support it going forward. Welcome to the conversation. Keep going. Bear in mind, you shouldn't expect any changes in the updates between now and then. For information on Brawl, blah blah blah, the rotation. So then the next thing is, if you're new to Magic, I have no idea what that was. Some sort of notification popped up. Interesting. Yeah, I have no idea. No idea. So what is gonna happen they're talking about rotation. So rotation happens every year during the month of September or early October. I think it's maybe late September. And what it is like, as they kind of rotate, like as the new set comes in the fall, sets get rotated out. So if you're new to Magic and you don't know about this, it's like they're gonna get rotated out. So there's that. And then it's almost that time again. Zendikar Verizon is only a few months away, and what comes with standard rotation, as we did last year, we want to ensure everyone's prepared for the changes that will entail, some of which will go into effect within this week's update. Rotation is always exciting. Magic the Gathering players will want to make sure that their players know the current timeline as they hit the road. So this is like a roadmap as well to like, this is like the roadmap up until rotation coming in September, or up until September. So events will no longer be scheduling quick drafts or sealed events for rotating out as standard this fall. Quick draft and sealed events will use starting from Throne of Eldraine going forward. So they're just saying that certain sets will not be in quick drafts and stuff like that. Players no longer receive ICRs from sets that were rotating out as standard from daily wins or standard cards. Rotating sets will be added to historic ICR. So if you play any standard stuff, you won't get historic stuff in the process. So August 2020 changes new player decks. The decks that players receive part of the tutorial will be the new player experience, will be updated in August. So when that comes out, I'll probably make a new video so we can kind of go over that. For existing players, we currently intend to recreate these updated deck lists, existing players, so everyone will have access to these decks that are still standard legal. If these decks and cards that aren't currently part of the collection will be granted them, so you'll get some free cards in August. So if you haven't made an account, make an account now, I guess, to get your free cards. If you don't have ones, we don't know what those cards are because they haven't announced what they are. Booster/wild card crafting. We have additional messaging in-game purchasing boosters or crafting a card from one of the rotating sets. So if you purchase something that's older or want to make something that's from an older set that's either rotating and or going to be rotating, there's going to be a message now. So like if you make anything from War of the Spark, and I think back is what War of the Spark, and there's like 3 sets. It's like War of the Spark, something else, and then the Core 20 we rotating out. So in August you'll be getting a message letting you know, hey, you may be making this card, but it's going to be, you know, rotating. So that's always good. So that's one other thing. Also in August, it looks like Amonkhet Remastered. So Amonkhet used to be in MTG Arena back when the beta was out, I believe. And they're bringing it back. So the remastered Amonkhet, they're adding it back, so it's coming to historic. It's absolutely nothing to do with rotation, or since we're talking about timelines, if we slip this in, Amonkhet Remastered will be arriving in August. Add an additional 300 plus cards for historic, just because Amonkhet, the whole block will be coming in, so that's why it's 300 plus cards, which will definitely be pretty awesome because it will add some spice and some new flavor to current historic, which is always good. Just getting more cards to play around with is definitely always good for formats. It kind of creates some unique decks, allows more diverse meta. Sometimes that's something that you don't get in standard, so there's that. And then we kind of get into the Zendikar Verizon, which is the new set. If you don't already know, if you're not into like the looking ahead of time, the Zendikar Verizon, it's standard rotation time, Core 2020, Guilds of Ravnica, and Ravnica Allegiance, and War of the Spark will leave. So 4 sets actually are leaving, which means all the Shocklands are actually rotating out. So who knows what our lands are going to be in the fall that are going to be coming in to take place. And then the following cards are still in. So Throne of Eldraine, Theros of Beyond, Ikoria, Core, Zendikar, and 3 more are coming sets that are standard legal planned for 2021. So the sets in 2021 will also be standard legal. Historic cards will be rotating set. Cards and rotating sets will be playable in historic. General reminder: historic does not have its own list of. Historic has its own list of banned and restricted cards, or suspended cards, I should say. Like Winota, for example, is suspended in historic at this point. Brawl cards, Brawl commanders will be added to Brawl as part of the Brawler Guild Hall and no longer be legal in standard Brawl. So, that's the thing. So certain commanders won't be legal in standard. And then renewal, as we did last year, we'll be adding some special events for rewards for players to help renew their collection to the new standard environment, as well as show appreciation to all your supporters. We expect to have more information. So we're gonna get some reward for being a loyal member and just collecting cards that may be rotating out. So it's like, that's definitely really, really cool. I'm not saying go ahead and craft these older cards and try to, you know, do this, but just be an active member in the community. I guess you'll be rewarded for, you know, trying to evolve with standard as it rotates out. Then on top of it, looks like we're gonna get some deck builder improvements. Some just quality of life stuff when it comes to deck building. MTG Arena, did you know that the in-game search function supports advanced search in terms? Well, if you didn't, it does. If you did know, now it's easy with reference in-game. So if you want, you can actually, there's now search terms that you can now search in, or there's search terms that is going to be in a list, and if you want to like use these search terms to help find these cards based on these search terms, you can now type these in the search and find it that way instead of having to go through and do all the filters and then search in for something. As you can see, a robust system allows you to set a lot of criteria beyond what's available using advanced filters through 2 are compatible, so feel free to combine the 2 when you're looking for particular cards. We're also adding fancy new tools for deck building, sealed events. With the update, you'll be able to expand the amount of space used when viewing your deck in a horizontal zone layout, as well as quickly add cards by their color identity. So it looks like they're just making that area so much bigger. And then clean up. The dog days of summer are here. Core 21 arrives in a few days, so keep your eye on the status page for latest information. If Thursday can't come soon enough, you can watch early access. I'm sure there's people streaming on Twitch, or you'll probably see stuff on YouTube probably about it, starting at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So 12 for me, it's 12 p.m. noon, or 8 a.m. if you live on the West Coast. Not sure if it's the same all over globally, if everything goes through all at the same time. And then Jumpstart comes out to Arena in July 16th. So in the next like 2-3 weeks, we'll be getting a lot of new information to Arena. But guys, if you wanna, if I have any questions about what's going on here, I know I kind of rambled a little bit, so I do apologize. Leave a comment down below. Are you excited? Like, what are you excited for? Are you excited for Core 21? You kind of want to see what this Jumpstart is all about. Some of the quality of life stuff happening. And Cat. I mean, there's a lot really happening in the road of MTG Arena. I'm excited, and like I said, guys, if you like this video, hit that like button. If you want to know when I post more videos, hit that subscribe button. I will catch you in the next video.